tried it, the weed, I tried the cat, I tried the ecstasy.
So like,
everything
these are
that needs to
drugs.
be tried, I tried. But with God's grace, I never got addicted to anything.
Oh wow. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tshepang and this is my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. Please remember to hit the like button, also subscribe and to turn on the notifications bell so you can get notified each time I release a new video. So on today's video, continuing with our series of the My Mental Health Talks, I've got a very special guest here with me, Tshepang, aka Mrs. Macheke, that I always post about. My Shibelani queen. We're actually trying to learn Shibelani in preparation for some event, the big day. So yes guys, this is a very close friend of mine, colleague. I should say colleague as well. Yeah. How did we actually meet?
Yo, so
is that
story?
No,
so first of all, hi.
No.
I'm currently Molepolle Macheke in a few.
Okay, got that.
So I met Tshepi, I think it was in 2015 or 2016.
It was
that long.
2016.
So we were on a double date. Our partners were friends. We were on a double date. It was
the Rhapsodies.
Yeah,
yes.
and we went there, and then I was drinking non-alcoholic.
I was also drinking.
And then that day you were also drinking a virgin cocktail.
Yes.
And I was amazed. Okay, there's this girl at her age and she's carrying herself so well because at that time we didn't find many of the virgin cocktails.
Yeah.
Especially around Pretoria. And then we exchanged numbers. Because of that joke, I gave her my number.
Yeah.
And then we started talking.
Yeah. And then we did the TR.
The TR, that was actually the thing that brought us
very close. Yeah. Because then I met your sister also through.
Yes. Because we didn't have transport, so
it was just
but
well, Tevi, I don't know how you remember those details because for me somehow my brain had washed it out. But yeah, it's been a really good journey. Like I think I've obviously learned a lot from you. Yeah. When I started doing the my mental health talks video, I think I approached you and I said, hey Tevi, listen, especially because you're in HR, I wanted that perspective of, from HR dealing with people as well, mental health. And you kind of just said, no Tevi, you know what? It feels so nice to refer to you as Tevi and I'm Tevi. Oh my gosh. And you're like, Tevi, you know what, let's just I personally have a lot of experience dealing with mental health related issues, and I definitely would like to share that with others so that they can also get some sort of knowledge. So yeah, really this is our talk, my mental health talks, featuring Tshepang Molepolle, soon to be Macheke. And yeah, so let's get into the video guys. I really hope you enjoy it and take in as much as you can from this conversation. I am very positive that it would really shed a lot of light on a lot of issues as well. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so Tepi, I think the first things first, obviously, I'd like to know, I'm sure we'd like to know, what has let's start it from the beginning basically. When did you kind of, come into the knowledge and understanding of mental health? Like when did you maybe have your first experience with some sort of challenges within that area and say, okay, this is where it all kind of started?
Well, so with me, I've always struggled with mental health from a very young age.
Yeah.
Because of various reasons. For example, I was raised by my grandmother mainly. Yeah. So I had a stepmother because of the whole setup that was going on.
Yeah.
And my stepmother just was always gunning out for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't have a normal childhood.
How old were you by this time?
I was around 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
I was not allowed to go play out. I was not allowed to be walking freely on the streets because they would literally always come out looking for me. There was this point in my life whereby every Friday it was a no. My grandmother was like, you need to hide. I had a hiding place because they tried to burn our house so many times.
So this is
it was a series of incidents. It was not only once. It was not only once. Each time they see me on the streets, They would threaten me. They would like chase
as young
me,
as you were.
As young as I was.
And this is from your stepmother's.
From my stepmother and my sisters. My sisters, I have 7 other sisters from the stepmother.
Okay.
So they were pretty much way older than me. So they are much smarter than me, much faster, much powerful, much stronger than me. So it was a mandate that they got from home. I was the child that nobody wanted to see. And we were staying around the same area. And at that time it was normal. It was normal for everyone. I remember my aunt saying there was this time they were trying to burn the house down. The one side of the house, the curtain had already caught fire. And then the next day, what my aunt was saying is that you need to be strong. And that is injustice to a child, because you need to like feel out all the emotions and go through it, you know. So they didn't, you know how black people are. They feel like if you're a child, you should not worry, you can't have stress, you can't be depressed and all of that. And you have to go to school and have a straight face when you get there. And now what also led to this whole thing, when I got to school, I was the only black child in the whole school. So
yes, I think you
and then like, okay, they started noticing like behavioral changes, but I can't say uguti guys, like when I get home I can't be a child. You know, it was for me
what were these changes? Maybe let's ask that. What were these behavioral changes that they
I was just very isolated, because I was a very, like, now I talk a lot and I'm a big person. I always want to be around people. At that time it was just a very dark time of my life. I didn't really want to be around people. I didn't want to interact with other kids. I stopped playing sports. I was playing,
and you love sports,
you know, like each and every sport that I could play. I was playing tennis, softball, netball, hockey, and I just stopped. I just stopped playing everything. And then they took me to a psychologist, a child psychologist.
And how old are you at this time?
I was 8.
Okay.
I was 8. That was the first time I went to the sessions, which for me was very useless, because when I got there, I never really spoke the truth. Because I was trying to protect my mother. I was trying to protect me, because you know how people are. They'll be like, okay, we need to get you to a safe place. And I did like not want that.
Taking you away.
Now I have to go live with. And then the only person that I told was my friend, my one best friend that I had. And then the mother was like, let's adopt. I was like, well, that's not going to happen. But most of the time, on weekends, I would spend time at her place. So it was also a cultural clash. Because now I'm used to this culture doing things.
So she was white.
She was white. She was white.
White people ain't adopting.
And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Now I have to go. But each time I'm there, I'm just thinking about my grandmother. Like, what if something bad happens to her and I'm not even there? But at that time, I was trained to be strong, mentally, physically. And like, if you just see a car that looks like theirs, you need to know where to hide. You need to know where everything is. Should they break in the house? You know, that type of thing. It's not healthy for a child. But at that moment, it wasn't like really affecting me that much until after. So I'm the kind of person, if something happens now, if I get hijacked, for example, right now, I'm not going to be like scared now. I'm just, the shock is only going to kick in afterwards.
So you'll get post-traumatic.
Exactly. So as soon as I was taken out of that situation, because then eventually I moved with my mother and my sister, where my mom is currently staying. That's the reason why we moved. Because now the whole family got involved. They would break our windows. I'm not talking about once every single Friday. They would come break the window, come try to do something. There was a time that they cut my hair. I was sleeping because we were using the same transport, and then I was sleeping in the bus. I just feel like somebody is fidgeting with me. And then I didn't think much of it. So there was this guy, he was my best friend at the time because he was my neighbor. He was laughing because we were kids. He was 7 years old. He's like, yo, I'm like, what? No. So he could see that, okay, I'm not taking it seriously. The first thing he did, we got home, he told my sister, Tshepang, they cut her hair, the sister. Then they looked more into it. Like, my whole ponytail was gone. And that's how I actually started my dreadlocks. And I was so scared because my mom at that time did not like dreadlocks. So the lady next door started my dreadlocks. So for me, it was also very therapeutic.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting this new journey with new hair now.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, I was moved out of the situation. I moved in with my mother. It was very far from them. But that's now when everything started, came back. I just, so, you know, black parents, she was just proud of, hey, mana ka rata strata. Nobody noticed.
That actually you're facing,
Nobody noticed.
And at this point now, are you approaching your teen years, or you
No, I'm
still
still
young?
young. I'm still young. I'm like 9 years old. 9 years old. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let my mother deal with this as well, because she's also dealing with it. I mean, it's her situation, to be quite honest. So I'm not going to add on to that. So it was a very stressful time of my life, but it also made me very strong, because as soon as I got into my teen years, when certain things started happening, I already had this mentality of blocking things out.
Yeah.
I started blocking things out until I got my first breakdown episode when I was in varsity. At that time, everything came down. Like from the time that I was young, throughout my teen years, everything that has happened.
Actually, when you're speaking now, I've already been able to kind of just because I don't really know your story like that, but I can definitely identify that PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, is definitely something that you could say is what you have had to deal with throughout your life. So maybe let's go to the when you had gone to your mother, now to your mom's place, and life was a bit different and whatever. How did the post-traumatic then manifest itself? You did mention that obviously you were quite held back and whatever, but I want to kind of know that when you were in your teen years, how did you kind of manage, being in school, friendships, relationships, if any, with that post-traumatic, how did it affect that part of your life in your teenage years?
Okay, so I started realizing that this is depression. I'm depressed.
So you manifested into depression.
Yes. So I diagnosed myself because I read a lot and I was like, okay,
Google.
It means that I'm depressed, and we learn about these things, and I was still seeing the child psychologist, but I always skipped the sessions because for me it was useless, because I was telling her what she wanted to hear, so she wasn't always getting to the
bottom of everything.
Of everything. And then I was like, okay, I have two options. I can either sulk and go through this life in this bubble that I'm in, or I'm gonna break through this bubble and just live my life. But now in doing that, I was very rebellious in my teens.
What I'm trying to get
I was trying to experiment with each and everything. I tried weed, those were the times. But funny, I never tried alcohol.
Timmy doesn't drink, guys.
Timmy
doesn't drink. Even now, I'm like, wow.
I never even tried. I tried it, the weed. I tried the cat. I tried the ecstasy. So everything that needs to be tried, I tried. But with God's grace, I never got addicted to anything.
Oh, wow.
I never got addicted to anything.
So it's trying and... No,
I was just trying to be rebellious. But then the next day you find out, for example, cat makes you not to sleep. You would go 24 hours, 48 hours, you won't sleep. So you'd go straight from, a club and then go write an exam the next morning, and you would be awake as hell. But the time that drug gets out of your system, you are just tired, you are miserable, you want to die. So I was like, okay,
no, that's
I'm
not
not doing this again. And then the time I tried ecstasy, it was on my birthday. I was how old? I think I was 19 years old. When you're on that drug, you feel like you can pick up everything. You feel like you can pick up the car, you can pick up everyone.
You said you were 9?
I was 19.
Okay.
I was doing my first year at that time. I was with all of my friends. We went clubbing and it's my birthday. Okay, let's do this. So each and everything that I tried, I had an episode or an incident.
It showed you that
that's not my life. But I thank God every day, because I think also I'm very spiritual, and my mom prays a lot. I feel like some of the things that I went through, it's through her prayers. Because if your child is in varsity, you don't know what they do. You pray even more than you pray normally. So none of those things were actually stayed in my system for long. And then in my early 20s, I started experiencing with relationships.
We all kind of, sometimes the depression monster
I never wanted to date a person for more than 3 months. This was by choice.
So you knew that, okay, 3 months is my
expiry date. When you come in, already you've got an expiry date.
But what was the, like, I want to maybe get to, because obviously now we've managed to get to the point where PTSD is something that we can say was manifesting now in all these different ways. Then when it comes to those relationships where you had made that choice and said, okay, I don't want to do this for 3 months, were you still trying to maybe protect that little 7-year old child?
Yes,
were you still trying to cover up for that? Would you say that maybe that's also another way that you're trying to also protect yourself from it?
So I was trying to, as social media say, protect your heart, type of thing. As soon as I start like catching feelings, I would just run away. That's how it has always been. And I only realized that time I was still dealing with depression, because you know, when you are experiencing a phase where you need to be alone, and all of a sudden you want to be out, you think that you are done, but you're not completely healed. I started noticing that I'm actually still depressed the time we were working on TIR. That's the time when I heard Mateo's story. I was like, okay, so that means that time it was just a different phase of the same thing that was going on. You know, and then, you know, I was also a very like sickly young adult. I was always in and out of hospital. Sometimes I was spent like 3 months in the hospital.
But on physical related issues, or was it mental related?
Physical. But that also led into me being depressed. You know. So, but what people also don't understand is that for you to be depressed does not always take things to happen or you being sad. It can also be caused by hormonal imbalances. You know, when you start maybe on prevention and then it's too much hormones, because sometimes you go to a psychologist and then you'll be like, genuinely my life is going well. I'm in a healthy relationship, I've got a job, I'm making my own money. What is wrong? You also don't understand. You know, it can also be caused by pills that you consume. And people.
So would you say maybe you experienced that? Because I think what I also want even our viewers to be able to see is like these, if for example you mentioned episodes, I heard you saying episodes and whatever. I want us to kind of like be able to distinguish, like you said, they can be those hormonal led stuff or it can have actual triggers. So with your journey, maybe from your teenage years where you started experiencing this depression and you having several episodes and being rebellious and whatever, would you say you experienced both sides where there was triggers?
Both sides. Or I've even experienced postnatal depression, the time I was a new mom. Each and every type of depression there is, I think I've experienced right now. And also I think the pressure of adulting. Now you're a new mom, now you're working, now you're doing this. People expect you to be on a certain financial level. They expect you to have certain things. And you know, sometimes you're a breadwinner. People don't understand. You can be a breadwinner and your parents are working. People won't understand that. You know, so the pressures from people that you surround yourself with
as well.
So but at the same time, because remember I'm in HR, so it's kind of like a workplace thing whereby we have these awarenesses, mental health awarenesses. Immediately after the session, you would find someone maybe in the session would be like, I was depressed, I was in hospital, because we do find people that are still admitted into mental hospitals. You find a whole HR person be like, wait, and then people just generally do not understand, and it affects a lot of people at work. It affects relationships with your boss as well, because even till now I get sick a lot. I get sick very easily, but then my boss always thinks like, not again.
Not again, yeah.
Not again. You know,
so people don't understand.
People don't understand.
Yeah.
And it's always sad when you're just on the other side. Because I think with mental health in a professional space,
yeah,
people don't know how to balance the two. As a professional, having to deal with someone with mental health, like maybe as a boss, you're not trained to accommodate such people, and that's why we have awarenesses. But then the people babating these awarenesses also don't understand what mental health
maybe
is.
They don't even believe
they don't
the
believe
message that
they
they're
don't
selling.
believe that for one or there's nothing in between. Depression does not exist for them. And we need to shy away from that mentality as black people.
But why do you think we
parents.
have that? I asked this a lot in the interviews. Why do you think that we, like, as the black community, like, why do we still have such a long way to go when it comes to, you know, mental health? I mean, like with you as well, maybe taking it back to your story, you had been seeing a child psychologist from as young as 7, 8 years old. Do you think your family really understood the gravity of the situation, or were they just doing it because it's something that was recommended? Hold on, just take this child to a child psychologist. But or do you think your family genuinely understood, like, this is what is going on, and you know?
Well, my mom is a professional psychologist. And she's also a professional educator, so she would understood, but she never knew that I was going to psychology.
Oh, she didn't know.
No, she didn't know that I was having these sessions, because it would be during school hours.
Oh, okay. Oh yes, those ones that they offer at school.
Yes, the ones that they offer at
so it was a decision you took,
that I took by myself. I was like,
as
I'm
young
not
as
okay,
8,
and I need to speak to someone. So they
Wow.
But the thing with black people is that we like normalizing things. Like each and everything that is negative, we either normalize it or we laugh about it and we move. And unfortunately, not everybody moves. Some people actually get stuck
in that
in that moment and in that scenario. So that's also why, because you find, remember the time that we met, the reason why I told you, can you please go to my community? There were so many kids who were committing suicide.
Yeah, I
there
remember
was
that time.
so many kids committing suicide, and it's not normal. So people are like, no, yes, it is also spiritual, I understand, but then people are only stuck on the fact that it is spiritual, and these people have got demons and all of that. And you know, I always tell people, especially my friends, that your mental health being is as important as your physical
being. Guys,
if you're gonna go to the gym, you can. I mean, these sessions as a psychologist, it doesn't work for everyone, but you don't know, it might work for you. It might work for you, because some people, they discover by themselves that they genuinely have a problem, but other people they don't realize that they've got a problem.
I really like what you're saying, because you know, in previous sessions I've had with other people, you know, some people will say therapy is great and whatever. I've personally found that I love therapy. I didn't like the medication stuff. I like what you're saying, because you're saying, you know what, within mental health, you need to kind of discover yourself and discover what will work for you.
Exactly.
Because for therapy, maybe you might not prefer sessions, and for you, taking medication is what works better for you. So I really love that point that you're making, because now it's also making me backtrack to the things that I say. I mean, I advocate for therapy, but maybe Tato or you or whoever might just not find that therapy is something that works for them. But I like that it means that, okay, keep on searching. And
you know how I heal? It's pretty much the same as therapy. Talking about it.
Yeah.
And I talk about it to the most random people.
Oh,
you know, I will text you at like odd times and be like, I'm not okay. I'm going through the most, like, oh, sorry, you'll be fine. Only those words, I'm moving on.
Fine,
I'm okay. Because now other people can't deal with therapy, because this person is not helping me. Already you're only going there with this mentality. She just wants to know what's going on in my life, but actually it's just not going to help you with anything. Some people find comfort in being physical, either going to the gym or something. Like you know, listening to music. Cry yourself to sleep. When you wake up, you are
so guys, if you'd like to see the rest of our conversation, please do click the link on the description box below to get directed to part 2 of this video, where we carry on with our chat, and I'm sure we're really going to have an amazing time.